Oh, look at that. The price of gold looks really low right now. Let me just buy a little bit of this. There we go.
Stick with me and I will guarantee you're never lost among the crowd with me.
Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. My name is Nick. I talk all about trading and investing, and a lot of you guys are wondering about gold right now. What the heck is going on with the precious metal, which is just dropping off of a cliff? Well, in this video, my goal is to set up some trade ideas with you guys and talk about this recent gold drop, give you some clarity on it, and hopefully we can have a little bit of a laugh, but also talk about some trade setups that could be reasonable. So with that said, let's jump into it. So here we go. We'll take a look quickly at the gold price really quick, which is currently sitting at 1783. Now, at the time of making this video, this thing is dropping, and by the time we get this filmed and edited and everything, the price of gold may be doing something very different. But I wanted to talk about this thing quickly from a daily chart perspective to give you guys some context. Now, we've seen this really big drop, and anybody who is caught in the long side of this thing right now in the last few days is probably feeling a little bit like I did at the beginning of this video, feeling like they bought something and then it just dropped on them really quickly and very hard. So something as heavy as gold, as we know, can fall very quickly. Just kind of makes sense. But the problem is, you know, as an investor or even as a trader, looking for opportunities to buy that can be very tricky. When it's on the dip, you think it's time to buy, and then sure enough, it just drops further. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I thought about taking a trade yesterday on gold as price came to the 50% retracement level. And I didn't take that trade, but had I taken that trade, I would have just been out of that trade with a loss real quick. So I'm glad that I didn't take that trade. But honestly, in hindsight, or you know, at the time, it looked like a pretty good idea, right? Buying the retest of support, and you've got to remember, looking at the daily chart, that we've been on this nice little overall increase. Now, before we talk about the most recent setups and ideas, let me just take a look at the 1 week chart with you guys. So let's switch over 1 week, and I want to show you this thing that is sort of worrisome in my view for the gold market. So real quick, we'll take a look here. We'll draw this trend line here, and what you'll notice is that price basically came up and it just kissed that trend line just before finding a little bit of resistance. So you know, to the credit of the bears, we've been seeing lower highs on the weekly chart. That's a long-term kind of thing to notice. We've been seeing lower highs for a very extended period of time. Every time price jumps up, we see basically sellers step in and just kind of like, you know, hit it back down. But, you know, recently we kind of looked promising. We looked like we were making our way up, but then sure enough, again, came into contact with that trend line and the sellers just came back into the market. So if you're looking at this and you're like me, I would like to pick up some gold on the long side. I want to show you guys a couple things that we need to be very careful about. First things first, if I am to go long on gold, if I take a trade on gold, you guys will see it in the Discord. If you're in the VIP Discord, there is a link down below in the description. Every trade that I take goes right in here. So, you know, for example, I've been shorting the Aussie dollar, which has been going well, and every update or, you know, piece of information that I share goes right out into the Discord. So if I take a trade on gold, this is where you'll see it. You'll see it under the trade alert section, next trades. All of that is found in the description. If you'd like to sign up on our website, it is the first link down below in the description. Use the 40% off code for Black Friday and jump in there. But anyways, if I take a trade on gold, that's where it's going to be at. But here is the thing that I am very cautious about. If I'm going to take a long position on gold, the first question I have to ask myself is, where do I abandon ship? Where do I cut the bleeding or cut the losses, stop the bleeding if I need to? This little trend line here, very simple concept. We've been seeing these higher lows. I really don't want to see a lower low on gold. We've been making these nice little progressive moves higher, but if that changes, I'm out of there. I've got to drop the trade idea. I've got to bail on the bullishness on gold. So for me, what that means is, you know, if we get a close underneath something like this level, that would be just a point to just cut the trade. Or if I've taken several trades or one or several attempts at trying to take it, that's going to be my last straw. And again, big drop here on the weekly chart. That is a really serious dip. Now, the question is that a dip to be buying, or is that a dip to be running away from? Well, like I said, we still do have bullish structure as well as an overall bearish structure. So if I am to take a long trade, we'll switch over to the 4-hour chart view for a second. I've got to find a scenario where things can be stacked favorably in my favor. How do I do that when you get gold dropping off a cliff like this? Well, honestly, it's even hard to see on the 4-hour chart, I'll be honest with you. So if I look at this thing from a 1-day perspective, maybe the 61.8, my friends. Maybe this is where we see a little bit of a bullish idea come into play. Now, again, if this breaks, I'll be out of there, and I'm not saying I know what's going to happen next with the market. I'm not going to try and predict everything it does. But I will say that I think if you're bullish on gold, if you think that there's an opportunity to find some demand here, watch the 61.8. And you might not want to jump into this trade just because it is dropping so quickly. But for me, I might be interested if I see some confirmation, if I see a little bit of signal of buying, maybe rejection candles, maybe some sort of evidence that there is some demand here. Maybe this is where I'd be interested in saying, okay, I'll take a buy trade here, right? At that 61.8, I do like that, with a stop loss underneath structure. I don't want it to go much further than this, and that seems like a big stop loss. That's because for a day trader it might be, but for me as a swing trader, if I'm really bought into this idea that gold could return to the highs, that we could see that rally continue, then of course I want to give this thing a chance to move around, because what do we know about gold? It's very heavy, it falls quickly, and it can do some big fake outs. For example, it could do a candle like this tomorrow, and it's impossible to know for sure what will happen. But if we get something like that, I do want to give structure a chance to hold here. And so in fact, we could actually kind of expand this zone out to a kind of big zone here, right? You've got this entire area from 61.8 to the bottom of where we found support. Now, if you were very picky, I mean, you could try and look for deeper retracements down into that zone if it happens. But I do think that 61.8 probably has a lot of eyes on it, and there's probably a lot of interest, a lot of big money that might be looking to buy the pullback here on gold. Now, before I get too far, we've looked at the technicals. Let me see if I can pull something up for us here, you guys. I'm going to head over to the website, just head over to a1trading.com, and I'd like to look with you guys at the COT report data. Now, if I go down to COT data off the front page, again, a1trading.com, use it anytime you'd like. I want to scroll down and just take a quick look at the COT report for gold. Okay, now this is going to tell us what institutional money is up to on gold, and might give us a little bit of clarity and tell you why, honestly, this dip might be a chance to possibly pick up some long positions, in my opinion. Now, please remember, this is not financial advice. I'm just sharing my thoughts, but I like this idea. I like the idea of buying gold because look at this. We've got institutional accumulation over the last several weeks and even last couple months. So honestly, a dip on gold, in my view, is not a guarantee that, because they've been buying, that they're not, starting to sell now. But it tells me that longer term, they do have that bullish perspective on gold. So I'm willing to possibly try at, or take a stab at, taking a buy trade with a reasonable risk, with a reasonable stop loss in place on my trade. Again, that demand, nice, promising, pickup from institutional traders. We're looking at the non-commercial. Those are your banks, institutional traders, hedge funds, things like that, right? You have them accumulating the price of gold in the recent market, move to the upside. So this dip very well could be a quick move back down, and could be, not a guarantee, but I like the odds, I like the probabilities of a possible bounce zone coming in hot here at that 61.8, or in the general region. So for me, like I said, I do think that there is some opportunity on gold. It's a little bit aggressive because price is very, very sell heavy right now. And please remember that we do have the holidays here in the US, so volatility will probably be a little slower. But again, I like the odds. I like the idea of buying in on the dip somewhere with a stop loss underneath structure if we get a little bit of a sign of strength in this region. So with that said, that's the idea. If I take any trades, remember, you can find them all in the Discord. The link's down below in the description. If you would like to join us there, you can also join the chat rooms and coaching calls, and you can download our strategy libraries, things like that. So all sorts of good stuff there for you. But either ways, I want to invite you to come join us if you haven't already. And if you enjoyed today's video, do me a favor, just hit that like button down below. Supports the content tremendously. And with that said, guys, good luck with your trading, trade safe, and we'll see you next time. What's up, guys? Thanks for watching today's video. There are more videos available on our channel here and here, so go ahead and click into that for some more free trading content. With that said, thanks for watching. We'll see you back next time.